Are you struggling to get things done? Are you struggling to start projects, start tasks, start anything? Is it hard for you to get past the initial spark that gets you in the headspace, or an idea that leads you to wanting to do something, but then you don't? You say, "Oh, I'll just do it tomorrow," or "I'll do it later today," even. Or you start the process of what it would take to do whatever that thing is, and before you've even gotten to a place where you're ready to say, "Okay, let's do it," you've already decided that you don't, because it's overwhelming, it's too big, it's too much, it's too far, it's too long, whatever the reasons are. Do you find yourself wanting to be distracted? Like, social media is a big distraction for everybody, but are there ever moments when you should be doing something, anything towards your task or your goal or whatever it is that you were thinking you wanted to do, but instead you decided, "I'm just going to scroll. I want to watch one more video. I need more information." That's another one. You think, "Man, I really want to do this thing, and I know I can, but I need just a little bit more information. So let me watch one more video. Let me watch one more TikTok, YouTube Reel, or YouTube Short, and then I'll be ready." If that's you, then you're a procrastinator, because that's me. And I didn't like being called a procrastinator. I didn't like being called a procrastinator. I didn't really know what it meant, but it wasn't good, and I didn't like that. I didn't like that I was being called something, or someone was identifying something in me that wasn't good or wasn't productive or whatever. I just completely rejected it. But for me, information is helpful, and it took me a while to figure that out. The more information I have about something that is maybe even super personal, like procrastination, the more effective that I can be at trying to work around it. Because a lot of these things, in my experience, they're not permanent, but they do take a long time to overcome, depending on what it is, because they're probably deep ingrained in your personality from years and years past. And the first step is identifying that that's even the situation. So if any of these resonate with you, you might be a procrastinator. And there's nothing wrong with that. Some of the most productive people in the world are procrastinators. They've just gotten really, really good at overcoming, working with, even navigating, and using their predisposition, if you want to call it that, to their advantage, and using their willingness to identify their own problems and find solutions to their benefit. And that's what really fascinates me. So if you don't know me, my name's Perry. I'm a videographer, I'm a sound engineer, I'm a DJ, and I'm a podcaster. So at any given time, I have a handful of projects just kind of on my to-do list. And a lot of these projects are personal. Some of them are purely work, but a lot of them are personal, and I have, time and energy and invested in them. But I really, really want a good, positive outcome. I want them to yield a good return, and I want them to be cool. I want people to like them. I want the clients that I work with to enjoy them and to appreciate them and to want to continue to work with me. And when it comes to getting all of those things done, inevitably, I run into my procrastination tendencies. The ones for me that stand out, that I've been able to recognize, are intentionally distracting myself. So knowing that I need to do something and deciding to check YouTube for more information on how to do it, or scroll on Instagram for ideas, on how to create content. I know how to create content. I know what looks good. But in the moment when I'm nervous or unsure of my ability to do something, then I'll go back to the internet. It's like, all right, let me see if I can find some more information that reassures me that I can do this, knowing full well that I don't need more reassurance. I just need to do it. The other one is taking the smallest task and doing those first, or the easiest task and doing those first, knowing full well that I'm wasting time because I'm not doing the big task, the important task, the one that I should be doing. So for instance, I know I need to produce and edit a video. The easy task is file management, storage management, checking to make sure I have gear, checking to make sure the lighting looks good or what have you. Instead of getting into the nitty-gritty of creating something really cool, I distract myself by trying to find out how I can make it look good. And then I'll tackle the really small tasks, the insignificant tasks. Yes, they are part of a whole, but do they need to be done to get the product or to get the video finished or to get the project done? No. And I know that. So procrastination is exactly what it sounds like. It's this thing that is in the back of your mind. It's not always a conscious decision. It's not always a conscious process or a conscious series of actions. It's this nagging, sometimes just this thing that unintentionally, without your control, just kind of comes, it intrudes itself or inserts itself in your process. And you don't even realize you're doing it until it's halfway through and you're like, what am I doing? I don't need to be sitting here scrolling Instagram on editing styles or LUTs or color space. I know that stuff and I can do it after, but it's seemingly more important at the time. So that brings me to, well, what do you do when you realize that you have these tendencies or these predispositions to procrastination? For me, like I said, information is the big one. And I research and I look and I read and I find out what other people are doing, and I read blog posts and I watch YouTube videos just like this on other people's experience, how they've actually used some of these tools in the real world. And that's the big one. There's a lot of tools out there, there's a lot of videos, but from what I've seen over the years and just in my experience, some of them, not all of them, some of them they gloss over the real world versions of these issues. And that's not, for me, it's not as helpful as I would love it to be. So I want to try and share some of the things that actually work for me, and hopefully they work for you. And not all of these apply to me, not all the time, and not all of them will apply to you, but if one of them seems like something that you could try that doesn't seem too overwhelming, or something that you don't want to add to your already long, incomplete to-do list, then hopefully this helps. So the one that I like the best, it's mainly because of the title, but Eat the Frog. And that one really struck a chord with me because it's somewhat in line with a version of how I've been trying to work along with my tendency to procrastinate. And we'll get to some context here in a minute, but Eat the Frog basically just means do the uncomfortable stuff first. Do the hard task first, do the long task first. The part of it that's the most uncomfortable or the most tedious or the most time consuming, do that part first. Then you can get to the little ones, the tiny ones that you need to do but are more fun. And you would usually start with those first. If you do the uncomfortable task before you do anything else, it's already done. The hard part's finished. And in my experience, doing that first was the biggest weight lifted off of my shoulders, because that's the part that I was most concerned that I wasn't going to get right. And that leads me to some context. In my research about procrastination, for some people, and for me, procrastination has roots in perfectionism. And I am a perfectionist, but I didn't know that, because in the word perfectionism is perfect. I'm far from perfect. I know I have a lot of work to do to be better. I never considered myself to be perfect, but that's not really what it means. Perfectionism is a tendency to never be satisfied and always want to improve and iterate, even beyond the point of completion. It's not good enough. It could be better. We can do better next time, or we need to try again. And that leads to never being finished, never being satisfied, always wanting to change it. And inevitably, you end up just going in circles, spinning your wheels. So in the sense, or in the context of Eat the Frog, you do the stuff that's hard, you get it finished before you have time to realize that you wanted to change it, that it's not perfect. And before you know it, you've done the hard part. You're halfway finished. You're more than halfway finished, because now all the tedious little stuff that you wanted to do, you could easily check that off the list. And it's kind of like hijacking your mind a bit. It's kind of like circumventing your natural process. And for me, those things like that have been the biggest help when it comes to procrastination and navigating these tendencies that I have. Inevitably, the goal is, for me at least, that you do these for long enough, they become part of your routine instead of something that you have to consciously do. They become your operating system upgrades, so to speak. They're part of your daily routine. You remember that you are a procrastinator, so that you have to do this thing first, and then you do that thing first, and then it becomes a part of the process, because by the time you're done thinking about how you didn't want to do it because you wanted to be perfect, it's already finished. And I like that. Another trick, or a hack for procrastination that I really actually mentioned it in the video before this, is the 2-minute rule. And the 2-minute rule is probably my favorite. And the 2-minute rule is essentially, if anything that you have on your list of things to do takes less than 2 minutes, then do it immediately. Don't wait for it. Don't do it later. Do it now. And just like Eat the Frog, it's a hack. It skips over your tendency to overthink anything, or to wait, procrastinate, put it off. And before you know it, it's finished. You're done. Those little things on your to-do list are checked off. You can move on to the next to-do, the next project, the next task, or whatever it is. And it just leads me to think about little hacks, these little processes. To me, they seem like hacking, because that's what it is. You are maybe not even intentionally, but subconsciously tricking your mind into doing things that it needs to do, but doesn't want to do, or doesn't want to do it the way that you would like. So the 2-minute rule, anything on your to-do list that takes less than 2 minutes, do it immediately. And I like that one because it's easy now. For me, it's easy to implement. I skip over the stage where I identify a task and then I analyze it. That's where I get stuck a lot of the times, is analyzing and thinking about it and planning it out and identifying pros and cons and seeing how many ways I could potentially to do it well. I skip over all of that and I just do it. And before I even have a moment to overthink, it's already done. It's finished. It's checked off, and I can move on. And what that also does is it reinforces your ability to get things done. And getting things done feels good. It's a win. It's a small win, but it's a win. And a small win makes you feel good. It makes you want to win again. So a small win encourages you to get a small win again, which encourages you to get another small win. You see where I'm going with this? Those wins compound. Those little tiny wins compound into lots of wins. And when you look back at your to-do list, where everything except the big, long, tedious tasks is checked off, you feel very productive, which makes you want to be more productive, which makes it easier to tackle the big tasks. So this whole theory is based around stopping yourself or getting ahead of your mind's tendency to overthink, to be perfect, to feel overwhelmed, to overanalyze, to procrastinate. And I really like that. It's been super helpful for me. I know friends of mine that have done a variation of these things, and it's been helpful for them too. So the takeaway here is, one, if you have identified with any of this and you think you might be a procrastinator, you probably are, and that's okay. So am I. So lots of successful people. It's all about how you choose to manage your tendencies to do these things. And with a couple of little tools and tricks, hacks even, you can be as productive as someone who says that someone who isn't a procrastinator, or even more productive than someone who is a procrastinator. or isn't a procrastinator. So I really hope that helps someone. Hope that helps you. Hope it helps a friend of yours. Hope that helps anyone that struggles with these things, because I know that they're not easy. For me, it often leaves me with a feeling of guilt, shame, embarrassment, because I've committed to myself, and I've maybe even committed to other people publicly, but I end up not doing certain things, and that feels shitty. So I hope these have helped you the way that they helped me. And to bring it full circle to today in this lovely park where I'm choosing to film this video, I didn't plan on filming this video today. I didn't plan on talking about procrastination, because if I had, I probably wouldn't be filming this video. I'd probably still be planning it. I woke up today, scrolled on my phone a little bit, realized that I don't want to procrastinate today. And then the idea to film this video popped into my head. And instead of planning it, I grabbed my phone, I put on a coat, and I walked to this park. And that is exactly the point. Because by the time this is done, I will have skipped all of the parts of this that would have stopped me from doing it in the first place. Over planning, overthinking, over researching, feeling overwhelmed with the possibility that it could go wrong. But now I don't have to worry about that because it's already done. So if this has helped you, share with a friend, share with a loved one, share with somebody, a colleague who could potentially benefit. Know that you're not alone, and know that it might seem overwhelming at times, but the moment you realize it's not, it can potentially change your life forever. So with that, signing off. Cheers. See you next time.